how's it going, everybody? Brett and Briggs here again with you guys doing another episode for a part replacement of a pellet stove. Dad, what do you have to say for
we've
today?
got the Big E up. Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to show you how to change the control board in a Breckwell Big E ginormous pellet stove. Let's go!
All right.
Hey friends, like always, unplug your stove prior to doing any work on this machine. Let's go to work. Okay friends, these are the tools that you will need today in order to change out the Breckwell control board. You'll need just a small Phillips screwdriver, and you will need a small flathead screwdriver, and obviously this is the control board. Let's put it in. Okay, we are working on this Breckwell Big E today, and before we get to the control board, here we go. Look at the handle. That's a makeshift handle that we put together just for testing purposes, but good golly, the whole arm broke off, so we have to order another one. So let's back away from that, and we'll have Briggs focus on the control board.
All right, so we're gonna go on the left side of this stove right here, and you will have full access to the control board, and it's going to be on this panel. So again, what I always like to do is to make sure the stove's unplugged. Right here in this purposes, the power cable is completely gone, so there's no power going to this board, so there's no risk of causing any electrical shock. So you're going to have 4 Phillips screws on this panel. You got 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top. A number of people might use some power tools for this, but because of all the sensitive electrical components and you got this cover here, I like to do things by hand. So there's no risk of over tightening or cracking any of the plastics. So once I have all the screws there, I'll support it with one hand, and then I'm gonna gently pull this out.
Don't force it. There you go.
And exactly, you don't want to force it because you can see any of this stuff on here you can catch on. You don't want to snap any of that. And finally, what you want to do, you're going to put your one hand on the Molex connector here.
Can you turn that just a little bit so they can see? Just a little bit more. Perfect. Right there.
Right
so
there?
They can see it, yeah.
So when you pull this Molex connector off, you want to press right here.
There it goes.
And so it's able to be pulled free. And with just a little bit of force, not too much, there we have it. The control board's out. So one thing I want to talk about before replacing the control board is something you guys should check beforehand and ordering a new one. So if you guys take this out, we're going to flip the control board over so you can see all these components right here. And what you guys are going to do, you guys are going to look for the fuse. The fuse is located at the bottom down here near the Molex connector. You want to look in between right here, this glass area, to make sure if this fuse is either burnt out or not. If it's burnt out, well, possibly that could just be the issue and you just need to get another fuse. If it's further than that, this is all clear, but still it's not working right, more than likely you will have to replace the board. But right here, this is a go-through thing you want to check first, so you can possibly save some money. And then also, remember, when you order a new control board, you cannot return it because of their return policies. These fuses right here for the Breckwell pellet stoves, they are a 5 amp, 125 volts, and they're about this size here. Usually a lot of times you can just take these out with your hands, and this will help reduce any damage you might have to use with tools. A number of times, if this thing does get a little stubborn, you can't take it out with your hands, you can gently pry it. And when I say, well, pry is a more strong word, but you can gently kind of move it with a flathead screwdriver to pop it out and take it out as so, and replace it if need be. All right, Dad, if you want to come over on this side, we are ready to put back our new control board. So after getting your new replacement board, or if replacing the fuse, you are now ready to put your control board back and hook it up to your stove. So again, before we tackle anything on the stove electrical, always double check that the stove's unplugged. We then want to reach in here, if need be, you find your Molex connector right here. We're going to set that off the side. Sometimes it might slip on by. we're going to grab our control board. We are going to line it up just how it was originally installed, making sure all the pins match up with all the holes here. We're going to go straight in, line them up, take your time. And once you hear that snap of this part right here, your MULUG connector is connected and it's secured. Now we're going to line it back up, gently take your time, putting the panel back on and lining up the holes as so. We want to take these screws, I like to hand thread them at first, just to get a good hold. And once you get about a couple in and they're screwed in decently, you don't have to use your other hand. And once we pre-screw all of them in, then we're gonna take our screwdriver here and we're just gonna screw them a little tight, not too tight, just snug. The reason why I don't want to do this too tight is because on this control board, this front panel right here, this is kind of a nice decorative sticker that's essentially on the board. And so if you take these screws and if you twist them way too tight, you're going to start distorting this sticker on here, and you can cause it to either move around in places you don't want to be or partially tear it. And the worst case scenario, if you tighten these even more, you're going to cause some cracking on your board. But after that is all said and done, your board is all good installed. There you guys have it. You all have a new control board and or fuse in your pellet stove.
Nice job as usual, son.
Thank you again.
Well, today we put a control board in this Breckwell Big E ginormous pellet stove. And as always, we appreciate you tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, send us some comments. If you have a pellet stove that needs repair and you need a little bit of feedback, we will do our very best to get back to you and help you along the road. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. See you around.